Trigger happy, holy shit, fam. It's lit, damn perfect aim. Shoot the bottle, that was game full throttle. What, hey, it's you again, fucko. And I bet you're feeling cocky, but you shit out of luck, though. A bona fide sound got you bona fide in the ground. If you're wise, to take the damon's advice. It goes like got an issue, grab the mic and fuck the tissues. No one's gonna miss you if you ain't made the histories. And while we're on about it, I forgot to mention all the keyboard warrior bullshit's another story, tumorous internet humor's up in the gory details of being just another millennial. Several background checks and not a need for repentance. So tell me, Satan, Sama, why I start a hell sentence. Like kicking, screaming, holy fuck, and now you piss me off. Congratulations, bitch, you won. Now here's a mazel tov. Looking for the boy with the $1 million smile. Gentlemanly get up in the fakest style. I'm gonna settle on up with my boys in gray. Strike a pose, leaning close, then I'll punch him in the face. Yo, disclaimer, no offense, love yourself. Just kidding, go fuck yourself. In media, rest in peace, criminal mindset, cause everybody needs an outlet. I'll be damned, this joint is way too quiet. Ready, steady, time to riot. No excuses for me, chalk it up to do sex, machina, true star loser. If you don't do your worst, you're no fun. Ain't to break tea, but you fuck with the wrong one. Seldom silent, ultra violent, so not likely to stop us from what we down. This joint is way too quiet. Ready, steady, time to riot. No excuses for me, chalk it up to do sex, machina, true star loser. If you don't do your worst, you're no fun. Ain't to break tea, but you fuck with the wrong one. Seldom silent, ultra violent, so not likely to stop us from wildin' out. Yo, Scott S.K. Miller, what's up?
I got 50,000 bitches and a gun so big I blow your lid back quick. Yeah, I'm syphilis kid. Dope shit, cocaine bricks all in my whip. Maserati dip.
You ain't supposed to rap like this.
Wait, what? You mean no typical shit? I ain't bragging about the life I ain't really living in. Well, shit. What am I supposed to do then?
I don't know. Tell him how you foresee this false sin.
Drop the kids off in Haram-based pen. Next again, think I lost it. I'm the shit like Depends. Pun intended. Then again, we can let the record spin. Rule 34 says fuck me. It exists. I hear it often. But they ain't coming for the crown. I ain't got one. But I'm feeling royal. That's KC Nakama gang. Call me of the underground. So Saint Sama when we playing merry-go-round. Proud Mary burned down cause the flow's too ill. Illuminati turn me down cause I'm too kill. Too kill means I'm shooting at that mockingbird. Do my will words. Watch me purge. Fuck what you heard. Egotistical, the enemy of average. Deku on the track. Quirk make me savage. You maggots past tense, so please stay silent. Sun rises in the east, catches ultraviolet.
Damn, this joint is way too quiet. Ready, steady, time to riot. No excuses for me, chalk it up to do sex, machina, true star loser. If you don't do your worst, you're no fun. Ain't to break tea, but you fuck with the wrong one. Seldom silent, ultra violent, so not likely to stop us from what we down. This joint is way too quiet. Ready, steady, time to riot. No excuses for me, chalk it up to do sex, machina, true star loser. If you don't do your worst, you're no fun. Ain't to break tea, but you fuck with the wrong one. Seldom silent, ultra violent, so not likely to stop us from wildin' out.
And so, the curtains close tonight on the hellscape in ruins. Such is the way of Friday night in the realm of the king of the demons. Well, we'll see you next time then, because you'll be back. They always come back.
Can't relax at all these days. I haven't for the longest time. I manage it, but where's the line where I'm dying? I'm paused, suspended like an apparition, without a moving on condition. I'm sick of all the lies, suspicion. I won't find a piece I've been missing, so don't run away with me. I'm a lost cause. Need to be tossed the soft end. Behavior reach for more.
You can't block.
It's never really been on my side. No heaven for the sins of my bride. In just another moment, the dark hour beckons, and that's where I hide. Somewhere beyond the darkness, a song in the night as the light was part. It's been another hazy, lazy, sobering day. So bring a lover in the form of a shadow play. If only walls could talk, check the clock, 2 now 3. I fall into a coma called reality. Yeah, defiance, my eyelids refuse to close. Unless a dream plays a song out of tune, suppose it goes. Dark hour, lullaby, all 5 of my senses unalive. Snuff out our light, just the one and only lonely mind. Wanna be under wonder spell, lost in a diamond-crusted realm inside of a jewelry box mind. I wanna spend some time wild, looking straight into those eyes. Can never really seemed to reach you. For a chance to breathe you when I tried, I'm stopped. Impervious to soreness, thankless. A servant to the bored and anxious, and you're my blanket. My brain is a puzzle, thinking why am I like that? The fame is a muzzle, and I cannot fight back. I strike a little match to watch the flame flicker, and pray that my rise finally dies and ends quicker. Guns in my chest, but it's not for me. Trigger finger toward the mess I made mentally. I take a shot, put the glass down, descend in a dream where every minute of my time made behind a screen repeats. Lullaby, a wife of my senses, unalive, snuff out our light. Just the one and only lonely mind. Wanna be under wonder spell, lost in a diamond crusted realm inside of a jewelry box mind. I wanna spend some time somewhere beyond the darkness, a song in the night as the light part. It's somewhere behind the shadows, a melody that ruptured beneath the sad glow. Somewhere the crazed are heartless, oblivious that they are not the ones that start this. The chivalrous become insidious and even hideous than pitiful ridicule when I never took it serious. Somehow the world is turning, the moon stays alight and the sun's still burning. Somehow we're stuck at 3, alone for a night that could last eternity. Somehow the here and now is begging for a me that I can't allow, but this soul and this sound is everlasting. My world's the last thing on my mind. Whoa.
Hello, 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 hello everyone. We're about to get ready. It's about to get hot. It is another day, another week of Game Club. I have the fan on, so I'm a little cool right now. Hopefully everyone played the game that they're supposed to be playing. Just saying. I mean, if we start another episode and someone tells me, "Oh, sorry, I played another game," we're gonna have some drama tonight. If that's the case, though, I don't think that's gonna be the case. Because if it is the case, well. Is anyone even here? I just see Just Gamer John here, and, you know, Just Gamer John is like a co-host, so he has to be here. Where's everyone else? You know, there's nothing going on. It's a Monday. Tell me someone's busy on a Monday? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm gonna message everyone to see if they are ready. They should be. Everyone should be. But I don't know the other viewers, you know. How long should the pre-stream usually be? How long should we wait for the viewership to build up? I mean, so far, we have like 2 people outside of Just Gamer John. But you know, at the same time, I think we should just go. I mean, you know, why not? Okay, we're calling the homies. We're calling the squad. Hopefully the stream does not crap out.
Uh-oh. Theo, you're all over the place again.
Okay, hold on.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
I can see that. It's like a VHS.
Yeah, hold on.
It looks like a Switch game.
Oh no, the frame rate.
This is wild.
Because he's using a Mac.
That's exactly it. That's what happens when you have a Mac.
But it was fine like all this time. Now it's like not fine. Come on.
Come on.
Maybe your Mac is dying or something like that. I don't know.
It can't be. It just can't.
Tim Apple sabotaged your computer, dude.
Fucking Tim Apple and his bullshit.
Well, your video's broken, Theo?
My camera doesn't seem to want to work. How does it look in OBS?
Yeah, it was like Switch gaming out all over the
Okay.
place a minute ago.
It works on OBS. Discord is ignoring my camera though. And it's not using my eyesight camera either. That's weird.
Did you set it up as a different source?
I changed the source like 2 times. Hold
Is
on.
everyone watching these technical difficulties right now?
Yeah.
Of course. Well, we're professionals. What are we going to do? Take care of this before the stream starts? That's just, come on, get out of here.
It was fine before.
This is what we call entertainment here.
Obviously, you guys fucked it up. You did something, and that's what happened.
You got me.
Okay. Yeah.
Theo did nothing wrong. He did everything correct.
I sent you. See, you know how everyone says, "Oh, Macs don't get viruses." Well, I created the first Mac virus just to fuck with you because I was playing Final Fantasy. Shh, doesn't matter. I was playing Final Fantasy IV, and then I'm like, Teo's, oh, let's go, guys, and I suppose.
Okay, well.
So quickly create
You'll
virus.
just have to deal with me as Ryoko from Tenchi, so you gotta deal with that.
Wait, what did you at least like try to like?
I went to settings. I went to the video and all that. Didn't change anything. Like,
are you sure not some like other program isn't using your video or something, or your camera?
the only thing that's using my camera is OBS, but it never had this problem before.
But you can't see yourself in OBS either.
I can.
What if you disable the camera source in OBS and only use the camera in Discord at once instead of running 2 of them?
I do. Usually when I go to the game club panel, it's just the OBS. It's just Discord. So like, if you go there now, like that's usually how I have it set up.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
I can see you in the stream.
Well, yeah, because OBS is using my camera directly. I don't know why Discord. It's Discord specifically.
Well, what if you bring up like the
hey, there we go.
Oh,
Yes.
We're not gonna talk about what happened. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean? It's gonna be on the internet for everyone to see for at least a week.
No.
the internet never forgets.
Yeah, but you think I troubleshot something, but the solution is like very easy, so it's fine.
Oh, then you have to tell us what you fucking did. Come on. Let's talk about how you fucked this up.
So, you know how like you look at the Discord window and you have like the little camera buttons? I didn't think because I hit the arrow. I was like, okay. The FaceTime camera didn't do anything. The Logitech camera didn't do anything. But that's just picking the source. I had to click the camera itself to turn it on.
I don't even understand that.
Like it's just like when you unplug the camera, it turned off the camera automatically. So when I plugged it back in, I thought it would turn on automatically. It didn't. I would have to manually turn it on, and I didn't manually turn it on.
I get
Fair
you.
enough.
That's
It's some bullshit like
that's
that.
something.
That's why you always preview your camera before you start Discord.
But you know what? I got something to show you guys. This is like the
My
best.
background disappeared.
The best reason to start. Look what came in the mail.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Makoto from
It
Persona 5.
Looks like a statue of some sort that.
It is a
spent too much money
statue.
on.
No, it's actually like $30, so it was like actually pretty
That's too
affordable.
much money.
Nah, I saw this one figure of a character from Black Lagoon. I was like, oh, this is a cool character, cool figure. How much is it? Like $200. I'm like, nah, no thanks. At least it's
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
30
side
bucks.
with Tio on this one. $30 isn't much for figures. I have spent more than I should a few times on stuff, and that's nothing.
I mean, double
Yeah, I
digits is fine for me. Triple digits, it has to be electronic. It has to do something for me, not like stand there. No,
Does that
no
mean
retro.
you're
That's not what I mean. It has to be like a movie or a video game. Jeez.
I didn't even mean that. I was thinking it's like, oh, I've spent a few triple digits.
What
okay.
you're spending on sex dolls is none of my business.
Yeah, I don't think body pillows are that expensive, are they?
I think aren't body pillows like $500 or something crazy like that?
I feel that
don't
depends
think
on the
so.
art. I think the art will determine that, maybe.
Tio would know all about this, of course, you know. Like I posted a picture from Comic-Con earlier this year. There was like a huge stall of all of these like crazy body pillows. I didn't see the price on them, and naturally I would not ask because that's not my bag. But I
You
would
bought one
assume
anyway.
I would assume they were less than 100. That would be my guess.
There was an artist I was following on Twitter for a long time during the Street Fighter V like heyday, and this person did a lot of like great Cody fan art. I was like, oh, this art is great. I love like Cody's my main character in Street Fighter 4 and 5. I was all into it, but this person started getting to body pillows with Cody and like all these other characters. Like she made all these other kinds of body pillows. And I was like, oh, okay. But I looked at the prices. I was like, oh, this is actually like. It's not too expensive, but it was decent. But I was like, okay. But she had a lot of issues with Capcom, though. Even though Capcom like liked her work as well, it was really weird. It was a weird like saga. She doesn't even post on Twitter anymore. I don't know what happened.
How many did you buy?
I'm confused about two statements you made here, though. You said, first of all, Street Fighter V's heyday. What is that? Within like a 2-month window?
Well,
like...
heyday in the sense of like when they were doing a lot of updates for it, like people were getting excited for Arcade Edition, like oh shit, they're gonna add real characters for once.
Right. I like don't. Is Street Fighter 5? Is there a new Street Fighter game now? Like
yeah, there's
six.
Six is coming soon.
Yeah, 6 is coming.
What's it?
6 is coming out next year, and that's running on the RE engine, so it looks. The RE engine is the engine like Resident Evil 7, 8, and Devil May Cry 5 run on, so like it looks like super realistic, almost.
Yeah,
Seems
it's
like an odd choice.
Sega ran what's it on the Yakuza engine?
Virtual Fighter.
Ran what?
Virtua Fighter. Yeah.
See, that makes a lot more sense though because Yakuza is already like
It's a
a
fighting
3D
game.
fighting game. Like
Yeah.
for a 2D fighting game, it doesn't really make sense to use. Is it just like for the graphics, or is it like some other parts of the engine?
It's just
It's probably just how refined it is from like all the different development studios and how much of an easy transition it is, most likely.
yeah. I think it's just like it runs on that and how the characters look. It's nothing like crazy. But at the same time, the only thing I'm like kind of nervous with Street Fighter 6, I'm like fine with like trying to bridge the gap between veterans and casuals, like Guilty Gear Strive tried to do and all that, but the inputs for Street Fighter 6 look really weird. It's like one button inputs almost. I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like I don't know, it's not necessarily one button, but it's just the inputs just look really weird. Like I can't remember the inputs. I just remember looking at them on Twitter and I was like, what kind of input is this? Like it's like left, huh?
Go ahead.
It's like left and triangle does a Hadouken, for example.
Oh, now I can Hadouken.
Yeah, but it's like
but is triangle like is like triangle a regular punch usually?
Like if you do like a directional input plus a punch, it might be a Hadouken. So like the way it usually is like down quarter circle forward, yeah, and punch. That would be like a Hadouken or a dragon punch or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
If you just press the button by itself, then it would be like a punch. Well, I'm gonna look it up.
That seems like it'd be harder to do than the regular shit. Like,
it's probably just for the scrubs and the noobs.
Or maybe it's gonna control like Super Smash Brothers or something. Like, the same type of thing. With, like,
being right.
Yeah,
so...
which I don't know. If it played like that, I guess it would work, obviously, but I wonder if it would make it more or less fun. I don't...
Okay, so this is the modern control type that they have. So, back in triangle would be a Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku, which I guess is a spin kick that Ryu does.
What you mean?
That one.
Yeah, that's the one. Then down triangle is high blade kick. I almost thought it said bladder kick. I was like, what the fuck, bladder kick? Then right triangle is Shoryuken. And
See,
then
this is all. I mean,
triangle
I feel
is
like
just Hadouken.
I feel like Super Smash Brothers has had like such an influence on fighting games because this sounds like the same thing. Like a lot of these games have been trying to be like, let's fix our control scheme to be more like Super Smash Brothers, and I wonder if that's long term going to be a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't blame Super Smash Brothers. I mostly blame Street Fighter 4 for it because that's kind of where it started. Because that was when they started adding more like assists with your inputs. So like you don't have to put the full input to get a Hadouken or a Dragon Punch. The game will like assist you in doing it. So it might not so like if you double tap like right and then punch, you'll get a Hadouken. You don't have to put the full input.
That's so stupid.
So that's where it started, and then it just got worse from there.
That either. I don't even think that's where it started though. Have you ever played Capcom versus SNK 2?
I think I have. I keep confusing like that and then SNK versus Capcom. Like those I always keep confusing. But I think I played that one.
Capcom versus SNK 2 has an edition called Capcom versus SNK 2 EO, which stands for Easy Operation, and they basically the whole thing is that you can choose Easy Operation mode, and all of your special moves are just mapped to the stick. So you don't even have to do. You don't have to do any. All of your regular attacks are the same, if I remember correctly, but all the special moves are just a wheel, like somewhere, like you press the left stick back, and then you do like a sonic boom or whatever the fuck. So it started much before that.
That is
like
interesting.
They've been doing shit like that for a while.
Yeah.
But
fighting games have kind of fell off anyway, so.
See, that's why Skullgirls is the best. They don't have assists or anything, or any like input assists. They have like assists with characters, but you say that, but they had a huge hype update to add more moves to Black Dahlia's beta. So,
but the other thing about Skullgirls, I've only played the demo, and I think I might have played it with you, Theo. But like, isn't the move list pretty simplified too in that game already? Like to begin with.
It is, but
like
it's just...
not. I'd say the hardest like 2D fighting game to control is like King of Fighters pre like 2003. Like that's the most complicated, and then like Street Fighter's like in the middle. But then games like Skullgirls are like way simpler to play.
Well, I think with Skullgirls, it's more about just executing combos is where the challenge gets because I can't do like a touch of death combo like I've seen everyone do online. Like there's all these moves. A lot of people hate Skullgirls because of that. Where it's like, yeah, so if someone just plays it, there's no way you can get out of something. Like there's one character that can get you into like a bubble attack. You can't get out of it until the bubble like lands on the ground. So you'll be in that bubble for as long as the player wants you to be almost. So you kind of like build off of that, but it's whatever.
Well, that just means you can't play it competitively. Like same with like Marvel versus Capcom. It's just ridiculous that how many infinite combos are in the game. So it's like, whatever.
That's pretty much it because you can do like because I've seen the same show with Skullgirls. Like you did a lot of assist combos too. So it's whatever. It's fun for me, but I mostly love it just for the art style. That's the only reason why I stick to it. And a lot of the moves like do feel satisfying when you like land them.
Theo comes back with the I love the art style excuse for ogling women. Great design.
That's why we all do it, isn't it?
Big Band is not a woman. Big Band's a man. Okay, that has a lot of instruments that make up his body.
All right, you're bisexual. That's fine too. Keep all this stuff to yourself, man.
Wow. Fine. You know what? Let's get into Game Club. We'll move on from there to that. I mean, whatever. But I don't know. I was thinking of some joke to like segue into it. Can't think of one, but whatever. It's fine. We'll just get into.
You don't need to think of jokes. Yeah. We're not comedians here. We talk about bullshit video games. It's fine.
So
just because you brought up Skullgirls, Theo.
Wow. We've been at least I think it's Charles and I have been playing frogun, and then Retro and Just Gamer John are playing something else. One of them is playing Frogger, the other one's playing like Roll's Adventure, Tron Bond's Chocolate Adventure or whatever. But
it's the
you'll get there eventually.
All right, what do you think of it so far?
So this I saw it from that limited run E3 press conference, whatever they did during E3, and I was like really into it. I love the art style. Like I love that it's like an N64 game. I got into it, and I loved it for the first like few hours I played it, and after that I felt like I played the whole game. I just kind of lost like. It's not a bad game. I didn't want to come. I was struggling how to describe it because I didn't want to say like, yeah, I played like two worlds of it, then I stopped playing it, and then I played other stuff. Like it's not really like, it's not like Sparky's Adventure or whatever that game was, where it's like I just kind of got tired of it. It's just like
Sparky.
Yeah, this one I loved the style of it, and it kind of reminded me of this one game on the iMac that was called Bugdom, which is the weirdest game. I was obsessed with that game when I first got my first iMac, like in like middle school, high school, around that time when the iMac was first starting. There's one level that has the most killer soundtrack for Bugdom. I don't know why. I listened to it, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this soundtrack's fucking amazing. And frogun has a lot of good tracks too. I love the tracks in frogun. I love the gameplay. I think the platforming is interesting. It's just the one thing that I kept running into is the aiming of the gun. It's just frustrating. Like, you just have to stand still and you just have to aim your character, but you also move. So trying to go on a ledge and try to aim straight, I kept dying just by trying to aim, and I had to go back all the way to the last checkpoint or the beginning of the level if I didn't get the checkpoint yet. And that, a lot of the regions was just that, like, I didn't die to an enemy, I didn't die to, like, a jump, it was just, I'm trying to aim my gun, and that's what killed me.
Wait, so how far did you get?
I just beat the, spider guy.
I don't remember where they are.
I'm between, like, 15 to 20%, I'm not that far, but it's, like, but as I said, like, I feel like I played the game, like, it kind of follows the same pattern, like, the level before the boss of that world, you do that race with that guy, which at first I was annoyed with, but then I realized, oh fuck, I could just like, do whatever. The thing that was annoying me about the race level is that no matter what I did, I kept running into that guy. The guy kept running into me. That would stop me in my tracks, and it's like, okay. I then would get a pot, thinking, okay, if I hit him with the pot, he's gonna stop running. He didn't stop running, and he kept going. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's no reason for that. Which later on, it did do something. It did, like, stun him for a second. So I guess it was just a glitch or whatever.
I was gonna say, it must have been a glitch.
But, after that, I got into that race. I was like, and I started loving the idea where once you beat the race, you could then go back and just kind of explore the world proper. Which is nice because at first I was like, there's all these hidden items. I don't care. If I have to win a race, fuck these items at that point. But once the game was like, okay, you can actually go back and like get them, it's like, okay, then fine, I'll do that. Like, I would have gone back to get the special items once I get through everything, but it was just like, yeah, if I have to do that race and that's gonna piss me off, fuck it. But once I realized you could go back, I was fine with it.
Did you ever lose a race?
I did. You pretty much. Actually, wait, no. I don't remember. If I did, it would just tell you to like, oh, you lost, start over. But I think
sure? I'm thinking about it now. I don't have no idea. I would die during it, but I've never lost.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember dying a lot to the first race, but I don't think I ever lost to him, because once you get used to getting ahead of him, it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about anything else. I just get dying because of like platforming issues.
Yeah, it was funny when you first said you're like, fuck this race thing. It was like, you just kind of got to think of him as an obstacle that's just in the way, and you have to like get around him, because it's not hard to beat him at all. But like, it's annoying that you get knocked off, but it's like, there's points in the map where you can kind of just like use your grappling hook to move yourself ahead of him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of really all the challenges at all.
Well, it was once I got to that part where you could kind of get ahead of him by using the gun, I was like fine with that. It was just the beginning of the race where everything I needed to go, he kept landing perfectly. It would just collide with me to kick me off. So it pretty much wasn't like favorable for me at the beginning. So it was like, oh, so they give him like a great head start. And then once you get ahead of him, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. So after that, I was like, okay, these races are nothing, and I never lost or got into an issue with him after that.
Yeah,
So.
and I think the problem is that it would have been too easy if you didn't. He doesn't actually hurt you, right? So you can hit him as many times as you want and you won't die. But I think if you were just able to run past him, it would be too fucking easy.
Yeah.
So they were just like, all right, let's make it hurt, like stun you or whatever.
I do like that. It's just I don't know, like the like thinking of these stages of obstacles makes it better. Like I do, and that's really what I started to love about the game more and more. Like I played a lot of it when I first started. It was like, oh, this is actually like really fun. Like, the levels were like decently paced, where they're not too long and not too short. They were just the right amount where it kind of feels like you're doing enough. Though, like the beginning of each world is like quick and fast, but the more you get into it, the more extravagant and long they get. And the secret worlds are also nice to get through as well. Some of the secret worlds I think were harder than the ones that came after them, though. Like there were a lot of them that was like, okay, this is just jumping. Okay. There was one that was like, they required you to time your grapple gun at certain times. It was like something very specific. I was like, okay, that's pretty hard and like rewarding because the game does teach you to kind of do that. But the other ones were just like, okay, just jump. Okay, you did it. It's like, oh, okay. Like, and that's kind of where I feel the difficulty is kind of that's kind of where the more I play, the less interesting, like the less like driven I got to it. It's like, okay, this game doesn't feel that hard, but it's not easy, but it's not like, it never feels it gets any harder, just either more longer or just like jump more.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And one thing that's super frustrating about this game is that like the controls are off. Like something is not right, especially with like the auto aim of the gun. Like sometimes you're auto aim to something and it doesn't really even attach to it. I don't know if you felt that way too.
I felt that way in the that spider fight because I was trying to use the corners to get around him, and there was like a distance I knew the gun would hit, but it's like no. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I can't rely on the gun here.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound ironic for coming from me, but like I feel like the game should have been nicer about the platforming. Like you should be like more snapped to the grid or something, or I don't know how to explain it. It's like you end up missing platforms really easily, but like it's not because I'm bad. It's just because okay. Here's the thing that really fucks with me is how much you can screw yourself just by having a bad camera angle. Like you can have the camera angled a little bit so you don't see a hazard, and it like murders you, and you're like, well, how was I supposed to know? Because like this game could have done well by having like a fixed camera, and I don't mean like a fixed camera, but like a camera that the game decides what perspective you should be at, so you can see the hazards. Like you can completely screw yourself with the camera angles.
I don't know,
a lot of times I felt like
but you can move the camera completely though. You don't really.
I know that's the problem.
Uh-huh.
It becomes because to me the interesting thing about this game is like you think it's going to be a pure action game, but it's actually super slow and deliberate, which I have no problem with. But like from the first level, like the music sets a different tone. It's like very fast and upbeat, but it's like really this game is very deliberate. You're supposed to be like move slowly, figure out your turns, like plan out your moves, and figure out the platforming after. Like it's not like a game you want to rush through unless you're trying to do the time trial part. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is kind of funny because I did realize when I started rushing through levels, I was dying way more than just like taking my time. So it does contribute to that. The other thing is that so I was so confused if this was a re-release or not. So I was like looking it up and all this stuff, and it's a new game. Like they designed it specifically as an N64 game. But when I was getting further in, I was like, yeah, there's really nothing more to this, and I kind of feel that N64 games are more advanced than this game. Because you have Mario 64, and you have like all these power-ups in that game, you can do all these like deliberate levels and all this, and it's like this game just feels more like an SNES game almost. Like, I don't know, like it just, I feel like there could have been more to it than what it is,
well,
I guess.
I was gonna say, it seems like this game, it's lacking, I can't figure out what it is, but there's definitely polish lacking. I think a lot of it is the controls, right? You know your platforming is broken when it's not just a shadow, there's like a whole like green circle that goes under to guide you where you're gonna land. Like, if I need that that badly, then like they needed to tune the controls a little bit. Like it's not that bad, but it's like without that, the platform would be really, really difficult. And not because, like, it's just because it has to be so precise. And I think they could have done a lot to help. It's like the worst of Crash Bandicoot, like, platforming, as far as, like, how precise you have to be. Like, you get punished for things that are like, all right, I was mostly there. Or, like, a platform might move and you're about to fall off. And that being said, I gotta say, I do really like this game, but it's like, this is like an A+, like, if it was like a game design courses, like, if you were like, this is your final senior project, for like, if you were in like a game design college course or something, like, it's amazing for that. And I think there's so many things correctly. Like, the world always behaves how you expect it to. You remember I was saying in Death's Door, like, I thought there were certain weird places where they violated rules that were defined, but this game always operates the way you expect it to, which is not necessarily always a good thing, because sometimes the game is fucked up. So I think they could have tuned more about it. I don't know if it was like I didn't look up the credits, but I don't know if it was like a one-person development team or anything like that. But I think they did a lot of things right, just purely from, like, clinically a game perspective, but, like, it's lacking polish to make it more fun. And I think it's actually funny, I would like to know which songs you liked a lot, because I think the weakest thing in this game is the sound. Like, I almost wanted to mute it, especially, like, the footsteps are annoying, all the sounds the fucking creatures make are annoying, and I don't say the music is bad, it just doesn't tonally fit with the game. Like, it's, like, adequate, I would say.
I would have to listen to it again. Like, the thing is, like, this, I like the soundtrack just as, like, hey, I could, like, listen to it, but it's not one that's like, oh, I need the soundtrack right now, let me put that on all my devices, let's blast that shit. It's more just like it's not, like, corny or whatever, like, but it's like missing something. The soundtrack is missing something in it, but there's, like, some beats that are just like, okay, this is, like, kind of nice, but it just runs thin. Because they just kind of loop pretty, like, quickly, so it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
There's, like, 5 tracks in the game, I think.
Yeah, I do like how goofy it is when you, like, suck up an enemy with your frogun. It's just, they look so shitty, like, just, in that regard, like, they have, like, this alligator enemy that you use, and it's like, it just looks like a cardboard box is walking around. It's like, this is, like, that I loved. I love, like, that they made a N64 game just look cute as fuck. You know, like, it's
a beautiful game too. That's another really good point. Like, it's really looks good, especially the visual style. And if you've ever played Mega Man Legends, you would even appreciate it more, because it's, like, clearly a tribute to that game.
Yeah, but it does.
Huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, this game just mostly made me think of, like, those, like, those free PC games you get, or like Bugdom for iMac. It's like, you know, you get a computer and they give you, like, these free games that are, like, very basic or whatever. That's, like, N64 quality. And it's like, yeah, this is, like, I could see this be, like, packaged in with something else that's already loaded in.
Yeah, I could see that.
Breakfast cereal CD.
I mean that in a good way. I don't mean that, like, fuck that. It's like, it's. I mean that's a compliment, because it's like an aesthetic.
It's a good game that lacks polish, and it's funny because I think it does so many things right, but then it does other things so wrong that I complain about in other games. So, like, for instance, where I compare it to Death's Door. In Death's Door, I wish the checkpoint system worked the exact same way as it does in this game, right? Because in Death's Door, you can collect a bunch of shit, die, and then you keep all the progress.
Oh yeah.
Before getting a checkpoint. But in this game you hit a checkpoint, it saves all the progress, including all the things you collected, and then you could even go collect more stuff
and come
hit
back.
The checkpoint again, and then you keep all the stuff, which is how it should work. It's like, if this game worked that same way, where if you don't hit a checkpoint, you keep everything with you, devoid of challenge, which is how I felt about Death's Door. Now, the thing it does, just like Death's Door, and even worse than Death's Door, is the boss fights. Like, the boss fights are so much, just wait until you have this opening to attack the enemy, and then you do it. And it's, like, even worse, because at least in Death's Door, you can take the risk and hit someone. But this game, you have no opportunity to attack until the time you can attack, after they go through the whole script.
Especially, like, the game, like, telegraphs it so hard when it's like, all right, here's something that falls down from the ceiling. It's like, oh, okay, like...
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, I just have to... This is just an endurance round. And now I have to shit-talk Retro, I know he didn't have this meaning, but I wasn't okay. When we talked about Death's Door and the boss fights, and I said the boss fights are like you only have an opening to attack because you see this exact same sequence every time. I wasn't prepared for your question, but I have to give a more.
The Cuphead one, right?
Yes, you said Cuphead.
Yeah.
And I was fucking playing Cuphead. I was like, this is way better because Cuphead, like, there's still randomness to the attacks, and you always can attack, right? Like, if you're really good, you can be attacking the enemy at all times in Cuphead. But also, there could be 3 things going on screen that, like, just completely fuck you, and you can't, like, you have to figure out how to avoid them. But, like, it's the combination of elements of, like, okay, they did these 3 attacks at the same time. I know how to avoid all of them at once, but how do I avoid all of them happening at the same time? And you kind of have to, like, think ahead. It's like, okay, they're sending, like, a minion out of me. I got to kill that and then run to the other side of the screen because some other shit's flying down. So it's like, it's very different, especially just simply for the fact of the randomness that's introduced. But I was playing Cuphead, I was like, what the fuck, Retro? But then I was like, Retro didn't even know what I was referring to, so he doesn't really know. But I was like, no, I didn't give enough of a rebuttal to this. But this game does this the worst of the, like, I gotta fucking, just wait until I can attack. There's nothing, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, this boss design is so bad. And I was thinking about, like, other games with bosses. And if I remember correctly, you guys have beaten Mario 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
I think, if I remember correctly, the last boss fight in Mario 64 is some bullshit, right? You have to, like, wait till Bowser, like, falls down. Like, you have no opportunity to attack him until he falls down when you throw him into a bomb.
No, you have to, like, get this behind him to grab his tail. He doesn't have to fall down. You just have to get behind him. It gets harder because then he starts, like, shrinking the stage into, like, a star form. And they have to, like, throw him into a bomb. But I do agree about the boss fights. Like, they're just not that interesting to begin with. That. Like, I just did 2 boss fights, and it's like, okay, like, and that's what I mean, like, at the beginning. Like, frogun just feels like, once you play, like, at least 2 areas, you pretty much see in the game. Like, I can't imagine what else this game can add that's gonna be like, holy shit, my mind, this is something completely different, or anything. Like, because even Death's Door, I feel like, the more you get into it, it kind of tries to change what you've seen before or whatever. It tries to add something. Well, this is just like the same kind of experience. Like, you've seen almost everything.
Yeah, because, it's like the level design and all the props are not that interesting. Like, Death's Door, if you're just looking for something to, like, some world to adventure through, it's interesting for that, right? Like, seeing all the different art styles and all the different characters is interesting. frogun starts recycling enemy models within the second world, right? And it's like the backgrounds are completely uninteresting. The one thing I do think is interesting though is that, like, when you go to, like, the secret areas or, like, the boss arenas, you can still see parts of the other stage and things that you missed.
Yeah.
Which I found that I got to, like, the last world. I'm almost at the end of the game, and I feel like the most interesting part of it is, like, I actually like speeding through the level first, right? And then observing all where the secrets are, and then going back to collect them. I feel like it was a much more fun way to play the game by just, like, let me just get through the level and not even worry about coins or anything, and then go back to collect everything afterwards.
Well, that's kind of how I feel that's how you're supposed to play every, like, N64 platformer, I feel.
Maybe. I mean...
No. Just don't play Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, or Donkey Kong 64. They're basically clones of the same game, and they're all shite. Just play Super Mario 64, that's all.
I would agree that Banjo-Kazooie... I would agree that Donkey Kong 64 is ass, but simply because they tried to do too much. I don't agree with Banjo. Banjo's a good game.
I'm not a fan of Banjo. Everyone always says that to me.
It's always funny to me with DK64. When I was a kid, I had such positive memories of that game. It's like, oh yeah, this game is great. Remember our brother would play that game all the time. The only reason why we just hated it is just getting to the end. Alright, get the Nintendo 64 coin. How do you do that? Beat Donkey Kong. Okay. And neither of us could do it. Because we just sucked at that kind of game. Like, you had to go through, like, the actual arcade game of Donkey Kong. And all that. It's like, okay, fuck this. We can't beat it, and we just dropped the game after that because it's like, whatever. But then, like, I tried going back to it because I got on the Wii U, and it's like, this game, I hated it. It's just, the controls are awful. Everything is just so, like, wonky. It's like, and part of me also feels the Wii U has the worst emulation with controls because I played Mario 64 on that, and for some reason everything I did, Mario would just not like respond enough. Like it was just weird, and I was like, I guess this is how the emulation is or something with the controls. It just seemed off.
Secondhand information, but Nerl has a whole video on this, and apparently that's due to input lag. There's just extra lag. So you should watch. Nerl has an amazing video on this where he just trashes it for like 25 minutes.
I watched it. I must have forgotten it, but yeah, that's probably what it is because I played Mario 64 on the Switch, and that was like a way better experience. That at least is playable compared to the Wii U emulation one. But
yeah. You know what's funny though? Now that I think about it, and maybe I'm just not a platformer fan, but like, what are the really good like 3D platforms that like really aged well and everything like that? Like Super Mario 64 is amazing. I know that. But I really can't think of any other ones.
Well, I will fight everyone to the death on this.
What?
But I will fight everyone to the death on this. Sonic Adventure 1 is fantastic.
Fantastic? No. Good? Yes. I want like fucking ridiculous. Okay, come on. Sonic Adventure 1.
See, it depends on like what our cutoff is of like quality here. Sonic Adventure 1 is really good. It's a good fun game. I like the. I'm not going to get into the whole thing about it, but like the variety as well. Even if you only want to just use Sonic or Tails because they have the regular platforming levels and stuff.
You mean action stages? Get it right.
Yeah, action stages, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, the same principle. If you just want to use those, they're good platforming.
I'll have to play
levels.
1 again. I played 2, and I loved it until it said like, okay, collect the Chaos Emeralds. At that point, I was just like, okay, I'm done playing. Like that was just lame. I loved everything else. Then like I think it was the Rouge the Bat Chaos Emerald section, and that level, I just hate it. I was like, I kept getting lost and killed. I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'll just stick with the multiplayer.
Safe?
Huh?
Is it the safe?
I don't remember.
When you're in the vault and you have to get the Chaos Emeralds and there's a timer.
I don't remember. But I just hate it all the same.
It could have been the asteroid field, for all I know. That one's the worst.
They're all bad.
Filth. I do think it's actually really funny. Charles, you were mentioning about the platforming and how in Frogun, at least anyway, you were saying that the platforming, it feels like your character model is different from, like his hit detection is different from what he looks like when he's landing and stuff. And I was waiting to bring it up, but then you mentioned it. You have played Crash Bandicoot, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you play it on PS1 or the remake?
I played both.
Both. Okay, that's perfect, because that's a great example. Because everyone was saying Crash Bandicoot, the remake, feels that a little bit different when you're trying to play it. It's like, was I always this bad? Could I never make these jumps? Was it always this hard? That kind of stuff. But they actually changed it. So Crash Bandicoot 1, his hit detection, he's a box. He's like just a literal square to hold like on every way. Or a cube, I guess, or rectangle, whatever, cuboid, whatever you want to call it. Kind of, because the game is designed around that, because practically everything is a square or a box in that game. In the remake, they made his hit detection an oval, so he's got rounded edges on like every side. So when but the level design wasn't adjusted for that. So a lot of times you could make the jump, but because you land on the oval, you'd barely make it and slide off. And that's what made it. It made it feel very, very different for a lot of people, and it just felt weird and off. But then again, it was also on console for like 30 FPS. So it's awful.
Oh, that has to be it. The 30 frames. No, obviously, that has to be it.
To be fair to you, because of that change, there was a big difference on there. Right? I bought that on the PS4 because it wasn't announced for other platforms and stuff like that. PC and all until like a year or two later. So I bought it on there, and I don't know if you both played. Well, Charles, I know you played it, but near the end of the game, there's a bridge level, which is basically extremely hard on
bouncing. I mean the turtle bouncing shit.
I don't remember which one it is because there's a few of them, but there's a bridge level really near the end of the game that everyone was complaining about it because it was so difficult because of the jump changes with the detection.
You can't cheese it as easily.
Yeah, because you would slide off the ropes if you tried to, on the old one you could cheese it and just walk on the sides, but it was harder to do because of the the oval on the thing, the rounded edges. But to be fair, right, I got up to there. I died like maybe 20, 30, 40 times on that level alone on the PS4, right? Because it's running at 30 FPS. I got it on PC. Do you know how many times I died in the entire game because of a better, more playable frame rate? 4 lives in the entire game. None of them on that level.
Okay, wait. I have so many things to say. I have to first start off with, okay. First of all, very interesting with the hitbox thing, because I remember like kind of sucking at Crash Bandicoot when it came out, but like I played through it, but I was like 8, so like I had a tough time. So when I played the remake version, I was like, okay, this game is just already hard. So like, it was hard. Like I remember, but I wonder what it will feel like playing it with a square hitbox. And I bet frogun could do, or frogun, I don't even know how to say it. If they had like a simplified hitbox, it would make the game a million times better. I bet it's just like really precise collision detection, which doesn't make the game any more fun. That's the problem. It's like, just make it easier for me to platform so I can just get to the fun parts of like trying to use my grappling hook. The second thing I want to say is frame rates. Very funny. Did you play this on Switch or something else, Theo?
I play this on my PlayStation 5, so I got the best version.
Okay.
Well, that would be the
FPS,
PC
right?
version, but
nah,
okay.
PS5.
But this is the funny thing is, I was playing this game, and I was like, why is my frame rate so fucking bad? Like I was like, okay, so here's the thing: it's like I've been playing on my Steam Link for a long time, but now I have my computer directly connected to the TV. And I was like, so I'm used to like a little bit of frame drop because it's going through the network, it's streaming. Like I'll get like 40 FPS sometimes, whatever. Fine, right? But I'm playing frogun and I'm like, why the fuck does this look terrible? And I went into my settings and I found out that for some reason, I don't know when this happened, but my computer got set to 24 hertz refresh rate. I was like,
to be fair, that might have only happened when you plugged it into the TV.
well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
a
like,
common thing on there.
I was playing my games in 24 hertz for like 3 months. And I was like, maybe, like, because I was playing more recent games and my computer's kind of old. So I was like, maybe I fucking just, like, my computer sucks. Or something else.
That's cinematic as fuck, that is.
Yeah,
so
you're experiencing the
Yoshi
movie
said-
side of it.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I turned it to 60 frames per second. The game was a million times easier to, like, time my jumps and stuff because all those extra frames give you whatever, right?
More precise control and all, yeah.
Yeah, but I've been sitting here like I'm from the Stone Age with this 24 frames per second. I'm just wasting all these frames. I was so pissed.
It's funny you mention that because there's actually like a PC gamer meme where when someone buys either a new graphics card or a new monitor, they forget to go in and change it on there. So it's like, got this new 4K 144 hertz monitor. Don't see the difference because, it's still on like 40 or 60 or whatever they had it on previous.
Oh man, this is the third thing I wanted to say, but I don't know if I can. I don't want to betray him now because I was gonna say everyone should sit and shit talk Yoshi for thinking Sonic Adventure 2 is a better game than Sonic Adventure 1. But then he just said I'm a true gamer, so I take it back. Yoshi, you cool. Even though you like the shitty game.
Oh my god, for some reason, every time I think of Sonic Adventure 2, I think of like, I would play the multiplayer mode of that game, and it drove me fucking nuts. My friend would play as Amy, and every fucking time she would get this power-up that would freeze you, so every fucking second I would hear, just wait a minute, and it's like, I fucking hate it. It was to the point where like, me, my brother, and my friend's brother, we were talking, okay, you can't keep using that item. Like, do something else. Enough with hearing, just wait a minute. Because it would just freeze everyone. It was so cheesy. And it drove us insane. That was the only thing that I kept thinking about that game.
Wouldn't it make
You want to
sense?
hear an amazing spoiler? Or not even a spoiler, but I mentioned this on Friday on my previous stream right at the end. I'm actually going to stream Sonic Adventure 2 tomorrow.
Oh,
nice.
Not Saints Row?
And as much as I should stream, the Alphabet Mafia simulator, I will not.
Live and learn.
Wait, which version of Sonic Adventure 2 are you gonna play? Because I will admit, I never played it on the Dreamcast. So
I'm going to stream the Dreamcast version.
Is it better than like? Because I played on Steam for the first time like 4 years ago. I was like, this game is ass.
Yeah,
So
the Steam version is the GameCube port, the battle version.
And is that bad too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, every version of Sonic Adventure in Sonic Adventure 2 has been getting progressively worse since it got ported.
They do this.
Yeah,
Like, what do they do?
typically for whatever way they've been doing, like Sonic or Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, basically, like obviously you had the original Dreamcast ones, then they would port it to the GameCube, and then if they were going to port it again, let's just say the PS2 or something after that, they'd port it from the GameCube to the PS2, and then if they were going to port it to PC after that, they would port the PS2 version, so it would get down, degrading quality every time because it was just so stupid. But
how do they fuck it up so bad? Like, I don't understand. Like, because I've heard that the Sonic Adventure 2 for Dreamcast is way better, but I have no basis. Like, I have no personal
The
basis.
Dreamcast version of both is better.
I know that. Okay, I know that about Sonic Adventure 1 because I played Sonic Adventure 1 on Dreamcast. Like, I had it when I was a kid. But, like, I don't, like, I know that Sonic Adventure 1, like, DX or whatever is not that good, but I can't explain why it's worse. Like, I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. I don't know.
yeah. That's basically it. It's when you look at every aspect, controls, camera, movement, collision, basically everything about it. It's like there's the regular, fully polished, fully finished version, and it's like on say Sonic Adventure DX, it's just that little bit under, so everything just feels that little bit off.
Right.
And then of course, you get a different version, and it gets worse and worse and worse.
I want to go back to the platformers discussion, right? Because I think Sonic Adventure 1 is a good game, even the Dreamcast version, but I would never objectively recommend it to someone. I would never be like, this is a good game, undisputed. Like, if someone told me Mario 64 sucks, I would tell them to go fuck themselves, because they're an idiot. But if someone like, you like that stupid Sonic Adventure 1 game? I'd be like, yes. And they'd be like, you're an idiot. And I'd be like, maybe. You know what I mean?
well, it hasn't aged well.
Yeah, that means it sucks. like, I always say this. If something used to be cool, it was never fucking cool. Like, it just never is not. It's like, you know what I mean? If it used to be cool, it was never cool. It sucked, always.
Exactly. It's like the majority of the NES library. You know, people say it was cool, but it was never cool.
All those games suck.
Yeah, everything has a shelf life,
okay.
but
I don't know if we talked about this before, but I swear to God, there's probably only 35 actually good N64 games. Like, no nostalgia, objectively. Most of those games are complete ass.
35? Really? You're going that high? I would legitimately say there's maybe 15 proper quality games on the N64. If you take out all the ones you have the nostalgia for and the meme games and stuff like that, if you take all of them out, I would say 15 max.
I feel like we should try. I feel like this should be a game club discussion next time. Does everyone play
Mario?
I think Theo's. What's that?
Has everyone played what?
Like, played a significant amount of the N64 library.
I'm
pretty sure. Oh, go ahead.
I didn't play a lot of them. I only played like Mario, pretty much. Mario Party, Mario Karts. I played Majora's Mask like one time. Then I was like, fuck this, and then I think that's it. I didn't play a lot because a lot of my time was spent on Super Smash Brothers and what was the other one? Oh yeah, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. For some reason, I was obsessed with that game.
It's a pretty great game, I think.
Yeah,
everyone was when younger.
I know, I'd have to revisit it, but I think it was really good, actually. I don't remember.
Pod Racer is pretty good, yeah.
But what I want to do is, we get a little homework for next time. All of us come with games we think are objectively good N64 games, and we're to see what times where we don't agree with each other and just shit talk each other on it. I think that would be fun, because I think I have some controversial picks that people will be like, "What are you talking about?" So I would love to go through that.
I think I'm gonna come in with some really interesting ones.
Okay,
I have a big question for that. Does like when you say objectively good ones, is that like genre specific, or because I mean let's just say, for example, we mentioned Pod Racer, Episode 1 Pod Racer. So that is pretty much almost an objectively good game if you like racing games. But if you don't like
it doesn't count. If someone just has like subjectively is against the genre, like that doesn't count.
Okay, like, that's perfect, because I have one or two in my mind already that might not be for some people if they don't like the genre, but they're like objectively some of the greatest games in the genre ever made over the last 30 years.
Yeah, perfect. I think we should do that. I think it'd be a lot of
Alright.
fun. And like, I haven't played every game, but like, I'll bring in the games that I remember being like, this is a great game.
I've
I think it'd
played
be
a
fun.
lot of N64 games.
Done.
Alright.
Just John is gonna be.
I'm pretty
I-
sure I own like 99%, no, maybe like 90% of the good N64 games. So I've got like
This is
probably
going,
eight of them.
this is going back to like my childhood. I had the N64. My brother had the PlayStation 1. So I got all the N64 games. He got all the PlayStation 1 games. And I'd always be jealous because I'd watch him play Final Fantasy. I was like, oh, I want to play Final Fantasy. But I got stuck playing, what's that
54?
one?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
No, I didn't get Quest 64. I got the
Adian
Atlas
something
game.
Chronicles.
The Atlas game. What is it?
Is it
Ogre.
Adian?
Oh, Persona
Ogre
4 on
Ogre.
N64.
Tactics
Wow.
Ogre.
Tactics Over, which is a really good game. I think is gonna go on my list.
Wait, is it called Ogre Battle 64? That's the
Oh,
one?
that's it. So, yeah, Ogre Battle, sorry.
Yeah, Ogre Battle
Um,
Tactics 64 or something.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is a great game. Fucking awesome. But that doesn't map to
it-
Final Fantasy. It maps to Final Fantasy Tactics.
It's so funny that you mentioned Quest, though, Charles,
Yeah.
simply because that comes up a lot in my streams, because we talk about like bad games and stuff like that. That wasn't called Quest 64 over here. It was actually called Holy Magic Century. I don't know why. But back then in the N64 days, I remember renting that game. And I won't go into the whole details of it here because we can save it for N64 stream. But basically, TLDR, when I first played that game, it was the worst game I had ever played in my life for like a couple more years.
I'm glad it got the throne, but
Oh.
it was bad.
So, let's wrap it back up to frogun. Are we gonna continue frogun or
I think
we
we
good?
should play something else. I think we should
Okay,
play something else.
because
I don't think it needs. Yeah.
Yeah, because I brought up in the game club Discord chat that I kind of want to see what Cult of the Lamb is about.
Okay.
Because that's been like a topic. Every trailer I've seen is like, I don't know what this game is. I just see like a sheep doing shit with demons. Like, okay, that's something. And then I keep seeing like all this other like stuff. It's like a sim game, but it's also a roguelike as well. So it's like, okay, so that I'm interested in. So we could try it out. I already got it. So I was gonna play either way, but I wanted to make sure it's gonna be a game club game before I even started. I didn't start it yet. No one yell at me. I waited for this
Damn it,
this
Theo.
episode right now to see.
I was gonna skip the tutorial.
dude.
I gotta say, I will say, I fucking hate roguelike games. Like, can't stand them. Like, there's some kind of... Actually, and it's funny, it ties back to Frogun. There's like a soullessness of automatically designed levels. And I would say Frogun has some soullessness to its design too. But I think it's
Yeah.
probably like, yeah. There's just like nothing there. It's like, this doesn't seem like it was crafted by a person. It's just like, here's building blocks for the world. But yeah, I hate roguelikes. But I'll still
me-
play this because I think the roguelike aspect isn't okay. Have you ever played the game ActRaiser?
No.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. ActRaiser is like
Well, the
It's
first one is good. The second one is pure
Act.
shite.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the first game is you go into worlds to collect resources to build up towns. You're like a god. So I feel like this has a similar like you're like a cult leader in this one and you're trying to like build up your cult.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with going into the worlds. So I think if the management aspect is a lot of fun, I think I'll like this game because like it seems like there's more emphasis on the management aspect and like the levels are more just to like gain resources. So I'm hoping that's what it's like, but I hate roguelikes. So if it's like more focused on the roguelike gameplay,
Well,
I'm going to hate the game.
that's
just say it. But I'll play it.
I listened to this podcast like yesterday, and they're saying like this one person was like, explaining his experience with it. It's like, yeah, I got greedy and I just kept focusing on the levels just to go through all of that, but he wasn't focusing on the sim aspect. So like all his followers were like, we can't shit. Where's the bathroom? So they were just shitting everywhere, and people were just like dying left and right. So like his whole cult went to shit, and he was just like, oh well, I guess I have to focus on this too. So I think it does do a balance. For me, like I'm not a huge fan of roguelikes either. It's just mostly like if I like the combat loop, I'll stick with it. Like Returnal was kind of fun, but it's like I just got a little exhausted by just playing that. Hades is at least kind of interesting. I like the art style of Hades, and I like the music and the combat. Because each time it feels a little bit different, and I feel like I'm getting better and better each time I play that game, so I like that loop a little bit, but I'm not like, alright, the new roguelike's here, baby, let's load it up. Like, it's just like, nah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm down to play it. I want to say one more thing about the N64 thing.
Okay.
Anyone who's gonna watch next time, you should come with games too. Everyone just spam in the chat things they think is fun next time. So everybody's involved in this next one.
If chat's dead next
gonna
week,
be like that.
We're gonna do a sub-only
be a
chat.
Top 10 or top 15?
I say bring everything you think is good.
Top 15 is not fair because there's not even 15 good games on the N64. Like objectively good games.
I think John. I think next episode
I'm gonna bring 10. I'm gonna bring
John.
10.
No, John. Bring as many as you like, because I think the episode is gonna be John defending why he thinks things are good games. So he's gonna be trying to turn. I think it'll be so fun because I have at least 20 I can think of off the top of my head that I think are great games. So, but that's 20 out of like 450 games. So. We'll see how that goes.
Right.
I'm gonna count them.
So,
I have every N64 game on here right now. I'll check.
So it wasn't just Charles and I played games. John and Retro played games as well. So you guys want to talk about your games that you played? And if you say you didn't play them, we'll find out, and we're gonna get you guys banned off the internet.
Wait a second. Before we do this, should we give final thoughts on Frogun?
Oh yeah, we should. Okay, shut up, you guys. Let's talk about Frogun. For the last time, it's a solid game. I enjoyed it from like when I first played it. It did make me think of like what you said last episode, where you're saying was there a game where I just say fuck it to the story and just play the game or whatever, and I was like that for Frogun, but at the same time I was like it's kind of a meme to say that because it's a game that's like the story's just kind of there to literally be thrown out. So it was like, fuck the story, but it's like, I can't really say this is the game where I say fuck the story when it's like, it's just whatever. But that aside, I think the gameplay is fun. It is a great game. I think it was like $25, and I think for that price, it's worth it. If it was any more than that, it would be whatever. But I think it's a solid game all the way through. I think it's worth checking out. I think this is the perfect portable Switch game. And I kind of wish I got it on Switch and not on the PS5. I think it would have been perfect for the Switch. It's like designed for that kind of.
You do Steam Link, you blew it.
Well, whatever. I'm getting the Steam Deck at some point, and then I could play Skullgirls on the go. The beta for the final characters. So there's that.
All right. So my thoughts are, it's a fun game. It's like objectively, it does so many things right with game design as far as, and I didn't get to this part, but they do a really good job of like introducing a mechanic and abilities and letting you train it. In the last world, they throw that completely out. They introduce new mechanics and you don't know what the fuck is going on, and it's like whatever. But like you still like kind of knew. It's like, for instance, you have to shoot your grappling hook in the air, right? So you have to like hit one thing and then in the air hit another thing to grapple across. They never teach you how to do that, but you kind of know you can do it because like she's kind of like a Super Smash Brothers character, right? If you use the gun in the air, you can't use it again until you land again. So it's like an up B in Super Smash Brothers. But like in the end of the game, they make you start doing that in super dangerous situations and don't really give you a time to do it safely, which is kind of annoying. But I think this is like objectively like a good game, but it's not like there's something missing that's not making it that fun. Like it's fun just as a basic game, like to pick up and play for a little bit. And that's another thing that's nice about it. Like you can beat a level in 2-3 minutes. So like if you're just like, I want to play something real quick, it's good for that.
Yeah, it's good to wind down. Like I was playing like Guilty Gear and getting stressed out from like trying to get to the top level again. And it's like, okay, that's enough. Just load up Frogun and just relax. Like it's a good like to wind down from. But
I completely agree.
It is as you said, like it's an N64 game that I feel like even it's kind of outclassed by other N64 games. Like it's not there yet either. Like if this was like the first N64 game, like like great. But you have Mario 64 that does a way better setup with the platforming, and it gives you power-ups and all this.
Because Mario 64 is like one of the best games ever.
Oh yeah, but like it has all that stuff, and there's like no variety with Frogun. I think Frogun has a lot of good stuff that's there. So I would recommend it if it's on sale, or if you have like $25 to throw away, then yeah, it's a great one.
I would say $25 is steep. I would say anything, I'd say maybe buy for 10 and under, definitely buy for 5 and under.
Okay, I can see that.
It was only $15 for me on Steam, so I don't know what they're doing in PlayStation.
Oh, you don't know? I'm wrong. I think it was like, I was saying it was 20, so maybe it was on sale on Steam.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know.
I would say good game. Definitely give it a try, but not for $15 even. Like wait for a sale. On $5 and under, buy it. Just buy it. It's like a good game. Like we said, like it's good if you want to play a game really quickly and like don't want anything super challenging or something that's a huge time investment because it just jumps into the story. There's no story basically, but it's funny because I think if they had the budget or time or resources or whatever to make a story, I'm sure they would have put some shit in there. Because I can feel that they kind of wanted it to be more of a story-driven thing with the notes and everything. But yeah good game. Not amazing. Oh wait, I want to say one more thing about it, because comparing it to Spectacular Sparky, it did something wrong that Spectacular Sparky did. Was like there needs to be another move though. Like the only way to do anything is to either grab, like if you have to break all the pots in the level to get all the coins, right? Just like in Crash Bandicoot, how you have to break all the crates. In this game, it's like really tedious to be like, okay, I have to grab it and then shoot it, grab it and shoot it. It's like you have to like do this over and over. It's not fun either. Like if she had a way to just like punch the pots, it would make it so much like it's just a quick way to be like,
you can step on them.
Like, I know, but that's so annoying. I wish I could just spin it like Crash Bandicoot can, because that's so satisfying to do.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
like all these buttons, and you don't really use, and all of them are the same move. Like there's one button to jump, and then everything is the same thing. It's like that was the other thing that was kind of throwing me off at some points, where it's like I forgot which is the jump button. It's like I press X, she doesn't jump. It's like, oh wait, it's R1. It's like it's exactly my issue with Neon White. Neon White's a great game, but the jump is a trigger button, and it's like it's the weirdest thing. I can't get used to it. It's like, all right, I need to jump, and I press the face button. Oh wait, no, it's the trigger. It's like, why? Why is the trigger becoming the jump button?
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, but yeah, that's all I had to say. It's definitely worth playing, but not for a lot of money.
Yeah,
like it's a $5 game, I think.
Yeah. And actually, I'll go with that as well. I take back what I said. It is worth like 10 or less. I didn't think about it. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Then like after I heard all that, yeah, I guess it does make sense to be less than that. All right, so let's move on to the other two gamers.
I think the most important thing before we do start is we have to address one thing that appeared in the chat a few minutes ago, and Stormlit Aqua was there recommending Final Fantasy VIII for a Big Bun Game Club. We need to shut that shit down right now, right now.
I don't know. I'd like to spend.
You know what? I would totally review Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, I want to play it. I want that to be my first Final Fantasy game to beat. Just so that I can have like a chance of having a positive outlook on it, then play 7, and then say 7 sucks, 8's better. I want that to come to reality.
Okay, I like this too. Wait a second. No. Theo, just play it. Don't tell anyone anything about it. Just play it. And then when you finish it, we'll talk about it here too. Because John, you've played it too, right?
I have played Final Fantasy VIII. I think I'm in line with Retro on my feelings of the game.
I won't say what mine are. You know, my reaction may have just given a slight bit away, but let me just put it out there, right? A few weeks ago, I finished that game for the first time. Back in the day, I got all the way up to the final dungeon, and then I soft-locked myself, and I fucked myself over. And every time I tried to go back there, and I could never do it. But this time, I finally finished it. I started over from scratch, I streamed the entire thing, and I finally finished it.
Yeah, you know what? Also, I got near a softlock in Persona 4, where I was fighting the baby, and I was like near the timeline, and I couldn't beat the baby, and I was like, yeah, I can't progress. This is fucking stupid, and there's no way to rewind the clock, so you're stuck there. So yeah, Persona 4 is just as bad, I guess. I agree. Retro finally agrees Persona 4 sucks in the most roundabout way. Retro agrees. He's even
Okay,
sweating
so-
because he knows it's true inside his body.
From now on, we have to transfer all of this like ownership of this podcast from Theo over to Charles. He's now the leader of all of this. Theo has been ousted and he's gone. He's excommunicado, persona non grata. He's gone. That's it.
Yeah, Charles, you're okay with that? You're okay? He's only picking you because you played Persona 4 Golden more than I have so far. So far!
Here's the thing. This is a conflict of interest because I fucking hate Persona 4.
Yeah, you
This
know,
has nothing to do with
Retro,
Persona 4
you say
Golden.
that, but like I'm probably more positive about Persona 4 than he is, and I hate Persona 4.
Absolutely, it sucks. I hated that game. Like honestly. Oh wait, I forgot about this. I wanted to bring this up because I was like, Theo finally streamed at a time where it was convenient. Like I was like, oh, I can watch Theo stream, and then I was like, this fucking game, and I was so pissed. And it's honestly embarrassing to watch. Like Teddy being like, no, fight! I'm like, this is embarrassing.
To be fair, Theo is very bad at that game.
No,
so-
Teddy sucks. Teddy ruined the game.
No.
He dies
with
like
that.
10 times
No.
per floor.
I'm not talking
No one
about
redeemed. No one redeemed to talk shit about Teddy, and we got one for free, so that's great. By the way, thanks for this follow, Green Lobster 57. This is 4 minutes ago, so this is the best time to follow.
Yeah. Theo, I mean, I'm not talking about Theo. Persona 4 as a product is embarrassing to watch. Like, all the voices and shit, it is embarrassing. It was tough. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. But speaking of which, we need to schedule a time to watch this shitty Persona cartoon together with the stream.
Yeah,
Or, like,
I keep putting it off. Every time, but we should definitely do it.
Dude, just put a fucking... If you put in the calendar, I'll come to it. We can negotiate times, but I'll fucking do it. Especially because it would be fun to riff on it with you guys. But I'm not fucking watching it by myself. Even though, yeah, because it'll be I know it's going to be embarrassing anime.
And you don't need to wait for me on that one. About a couple of weeks ago, I watched all 12 episodes anyway. So, like, because obviously with the time zone difference, it's easier for the two ye to do that. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, you got really fucking Irish on us right there, huh?
well,
Ye?
the two ye? What the two ye? Everyone used to say the same thing, right? Because I'd be talking about stuff, and we'd just be talking normally, and I'd be talking to them, and I would just be like, "Oh, how much do you pay for your internet?" "Oh, I pay €25 for me internet," because we say, yeah, that's the kind of thing we say.
Oh, red
And it
beard and
doesn't.
get a fucking top hat on and be like,
Oh,
"Let's
me
jump
internet,
on
me
the
internet. Oh, me fucking Final Fantasy. It's a fucking wee bit ridiculous. I'm here trying to play me games.
By the way,
Not a stereotype, lads. Come on.
Since Yoshi and Storm are in my chat, I have to show them this. So I'm gonna go to full screen. Yoshi, Storm, and look at the screen right now. You see this. You see Makoto. This Fizz just everyone's giving me shit. There she is. So there you go. Now she's here. All right. Now we can go back
yeah,
to.
Thankful, lads. He took it out of the glass jar and cleaned it up for this.
Theo, play Final Fantasy VIII. Don't tell us anything about it, and then one day you come to Game Club and be like, guys, I beat Final Fantasy VIII.
And it's great.
And then we could talk about it.
Hell yeah.
I think that would be so fun. Because all three of us have beaten it.
I streamed it and I did the beginning of it and I loved it. I was like, this is like great. I enjoyed it a lot because it was corny and like goofy. I love just because like the intro is this guy just looks like playing as like fucking nobody, like alright, this intense like AMV. It's like this is just like the most corny bullshit. It's like I was like, oh, all for it, but I'll have to play it again. The only thing I just hated is just the tutorial is so fucking wordy. It's like reading a textbook. It's like I don't like that. I hated. It's like, all right, oh, this is like I'm probably gonna forget this in like five seconds, and then after this, like I forgot everything. Like now, if I go into this, I know for a fact I forgot half the shit.
I think
that was such a meme during my stream that it actually someone made a clip of it because of how meme worthy the tutorials were.
I gotta say though, I think I remember the introduction of the game being really bad until the part where you do that first assault. That part is awesome.
A little bit before there is when it gets, I won't say gets bad, but it's probably the bit you're thinking of because that's when all the tutorials kick in all at once.
Yeah.
After you get Ifrit and come back.
The part when you crash the boat on that place and you have to go up to the tower, fucking awesome. If you like, I could hear someone saying Final Fantasy VIII is terrible, but that part fucking rules. But
Yeah, about the rest of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of the game.
So again, let's get back to what Retro and John were playing.
Yeah. Do you want you want to flip a coin or something? See which one of us goes first, or?
Retro, it's like 11 o'clock. What time zone is John in?
I'm in Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Oh
so
yeah, you should go first, Retro.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's your bed.
my bedtime. Would you stop? That's in like 45 minutes. I'm a big boy. Come on.
Go to sleep under the rainbow.
I picture now when you said that, Richard. I picture like my Teddy emote saying that.
wait, which one?
The very angry
which
one.
part?
Just like you're saying, like it's the bedtime, like whatever, like that whole like speech, the whole thing.
It just pops up.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, I'm a real boy. but anyway, so since the others were playing frogun or whatever you want to call it, we figured we need something similar in platforming genre and all as well. So I played an old personal favorite of mine from back on the PS1 / Sega Saturn / PC. I played the PS1 version of it. Everyone knows the legendary platformers of the PS1. We've got Crash Bandicoot. Apparently, we've got Spyro. I was never a fan until the remake. But I always had a special soft spot for Croc, Legend of the Gobos. So I played that one. It's a pretty basic standard PS1 3D platformer game. Pretty basic stuff. It doesn't have too many mechanics or anything like that. You've got a standard attack. You've got like an arse smash, like jump in the air and just smash down. There's not too much to say about it. It's what you'd expect from a 3D platformer of the time. It plays well. There's one or two little things that throw it off a little bit. The camera can be a little bit dodgy because it's an early PS1 game. So I was going to say, yeah, DualShock support's not fully there, but it does support analog. A little bit, but not fully for the camera, and it's like there's kind of like a turning radius. So if you're standing forward and then just press right, he'll just kind of go forward and start turning around in a circle. But to combat that, you can press the circle button and he'll just stand in place and do a 180. But trying to do all of that on the fly and handle the camera and controls and all in like a hectic action thing can be a little bit much. It's a decent enough game. It's fairly long. I think there was about 30 something levels, maybe a little bit more. I want to say even more. But there is a little bit of a completionist aspect as well, because you can complete all the worlds, or practically all the worlds, just the regular way, and then you get to the normal ending of the game. It's not really the ending of the game, but on each level, there's 5 like colored gems. There's regular colored gems as well, but there's 5 specific colored gems. When you pick up all 5 of those, it gives you access to a new area. So you have to you have to rescue gobos in every level as well as just finish the level. Behind that extra area in each level, there's a gobo. So you need to access each. You basically need to do the proper completionist thing to get every gobo on every level. And if you get every gobo on every level up until the last level of the normal stuff, you unlock the final island, which gives you access to the last couple of levels and the true final boss where you can beat him. And there's obviously boss fights and all as well. But it's like Charles said with the previous game. Basically, you just have to run around and survive for a minute until the boss goes through his motions to open up that 1 second where you can attack and the one animation, and boom, you do it. Standard stuff, just like all Crash and all of them. But you complete the game, you get the proper good ending. It's the usual fun thing. It's no Crash Bandicoot. It's close enough to the next best thing, but there's one thing that just tickles my fancy about it a little bit more, is not even relating to the game or the gameplay itself. It's more so the development of it. It's made by a studio called Argonaut Studios. They haven't made many games, but the thing that's especially funny is that they make this, which is a 3D platformer using a green reptile main character. Argonaut Studios actually developed and created the Super FX chip in the Super Nintendo games with Nintendo. They developed and created that. And then this came with PlayStation and Saturn and PC. But the original prototype for this, there's two different stories on it depending on which one you go with. The original prototype for Croc was actually pitched to Nintendo, and depending on which story you believe, it's either a 3D platformer using Yoshi, which makes a lot more sense considering Croc, Yoshi, or the other one is it's a 3D racing game starring Yoshi as the main character, which I don't really see that much on it. But just the fact that Nintendo rejected it, and it was the company that made the Super FX chip, and then they went on and started making like PlayStation, Saturn, and PC games, and not Nintendo games. I just think that's especially weird.
Oh,
in
you
that
love
way.
that origin story. I could hear like hell yeah, he fucking stuck to
It's just
Nintendo.
take that, Nintendo. Oh no, but to be fair, that was Nintendo when they were good. Super Nintendo, SNES, not SNES. Like you know, I forgive you for saying it wrong earlier on, but you know, that was when they were good, or at least, well, that was when they started getting questionable because the N64 made some questionable choices. That's why you didn't get Final Fantasy VII, John. That's why your brother got it.
I know.
Yeah, they
CDs.
fucked that up.
But yeah, as far as like recommending it to people and all goes, it's hard to objectively recommend. Like if you like third 3D action or 3D platformer games, you know, EU will like objectively recommend Crash Bandicoot. Probably most people would obviously do the same with Spyro. I wouldn't say this is at the same level, but if you have like the top tier games like Crash and all that, if you're willing to play a game that's like one step down from there, this might be for you. Um, Depending on the price, naturally it's a retro game, or you can get it whatever way you want. But if you're gonna physically buy it, it's cheap enough. I think I bought it during the stream last time, and I think it cost me like €15. But I don't know what it is in other regions and availability and all. But don't pay more than 20 quid for it, and that's it. Yeah, if you don't mind playing like a second tier, you're good to go.
I find it interesting. You said something about the development history. I find it interesting that it was multi-platform, but they skipped the N64. Like, were they just like fuck Nintendo for dissing us, or like?
Probably that would be my guess. There's no official word on it on officially why, especially because back then, like developing for the PlayStation, the Saturn, and the PC were all three vastly different things as it was. So maybe, I mean, obviously developing for PC and PlayStation were the two big ones because of the sales and all as well. Saturn was practically dead, but maybe they saw the N64, how it wasn't doing as well as the PlayStation, and I don't know. I mean, there's no exact word for it, but it's curious. Which? Well, yeah, but see, the Saturn came out first, if I remember correctly. I don't think it came out first for Croc, but they might have started development on it earlier because it was available first.
Yeah, and I've heard stories of the Saturn being particularly difficult to develop for, especially for 3D games. I don't know the technical, but
I know them. So basically, it's very like that because on the PS1 and like the PC and all, obviously everything uses polygons. The Saturn was primarily designed as a 2D console, and it only like once Sony showed off the PS1, Sega added in like 3D capabilities right at the very end. So it doesn't use polygons; it actually uses quadrilaterals. It's basically like a four-angled polygon, but it doesn't do them very well. So if you play any game that has like proper 3D stuff in it, it looks worse than the PS1 99% of the time. But if you play 2D games, they look much better than the equivalent on the PlayStation. A great example is play Tomb Raider on the Saturn and play Tomb Raider on the PS1. The difference is unreal. Despite Tomb Raider actually being a Saturn game, it was first released for the Saturn before any other platform. That was the primary thing for it. Just it's like unplayably awful. Like it's worse than a Switch port of a game. It's that bad.
And say fuck both of those versions.
Well, yeah, but it's just like for the point of it and the principle. But by comparison, if you look at Resident Evil 1 on the Sega Saturn, because practically everything, like all the backgrounds, all the practically everything are like painted 2D still images.
Yep.
They only have to render the character models in 3D, and because it doesn't have to do much, they actually look better than the PS1 version because there's only one or two things they have to render. So it's slightly higher resolution and slightly more detail, but it actually looks better on that. But yeah, that's Croc.
Yeah, I have something I want to add to that though, because if you're interested in really interesting development stories, Crash Bandicoot has a super interesting one, and there's an interview with the guy who developed it. there's a 30-minute version that's super interesting, and then there's like a 2-hour version. And I'm like, I can watch, if I see that video, I can watch the whole thing. It's just amazing what he did to make that game work, because Crash Bandicoot, the animations that they did and the fact that the levels were so huge was not just possible. It's not like something you can just do like with a PlayStation, but he developed it in such an interesting way that made that possible. The other super interesting one is Resident Evil 2 for the N64. Like,
No.
you don't think it's interesting?
No,
I've seen
it's
that.
interesting if you want, but I mean, there's what they had to do to get that to work on like such a small size is like ridiculous. I mean, it's technical wizardry in that way, but it's like unplayably bad. At
Well,
the
it's
end
not
of
about the quality of the game. It's more about like how they made it and why they made it, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think
how they got it to fit on.
Because like I keep forgetting it was on the N64. It's like really it almost feels like Capcom wants to bury that game and just like not even like acknowledge it, because it's like, yeah, this is just a bad version. Let's just not like look at it.
Put it this way: they have to fit two CDs, like 700 meg per CD, so 1.4 gig. They had to fit that down onto a 64 megabyte cartridge to get it to work.
It's amazing that they did it though.
That they can do it, yeah, but I mean the final product is. Like the character models aren't even, their heads and necks aren't even attached to their body.
It's the argument of, just because you could do something, should you? Like we could do that. Should we do that?
Why not?
Your scientists were so preoccupied but wondering if they could.
Watch Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. Watch that. We could clone dinosaurs, but should we? And then look what happens when we cloned them. They all destroy the place.
Yeah, but the worst thing that can happen by making a port of a video game is that people don't like it.
But it's the money. It's the money. And then it's like, no one likes Resident Evil.
Exclusive content. There's Zombie Brad in it because they made it after Resident Evil 3. It's amazing. Actually, Zombie Brad in the original.
Zombie Brad's in Resident Evil 2 anyway.
Oh, he is. Never mind.
He's in every version of it.
There's some exclusive content in the 64 version that I don't remember.
Is Mario in it? Maybe he's in there. He's just like, it's a me, Mario. Then he dies by Mr. X.
There's a Mario zombie.
Instead of Kenneth in the gun shop, it's Mario. Who are?
He jumps on their head when they break in the window.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to add that. I'll post those videos in the game club chat if anyone's interested in seeing them.
All right. Now, Just Gamer John, what game did you play? Were you the one that was playing Tron Bonne and the Chocolate Adventure, or was it Frogger?
I was debating on two things. I was debating on Frogger because of frogun, and Charles convinced me to play something good, so I played Mega Man Legends.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Great game.
Is just one of my favorite games. I absolutely adore Mega Man Legends. It was one of those games that got ported N64. It was Mega Man 64. And actually had analog support Nintendo 64 as opposed to the PlayStation 1, which was just the buttons, the control buttons, like up, down. There was no analog support. So I played it on both. I played it on the PlayStation 1. I played it on the N64. As for the game, there's Mega Man Legends 2, much better in terms of far along it came in terms of shooting, strafing, aiming, just directional input of that nature. Much improved in Mega Man Legends 2. Mega Man Legends 1, a little rough on that point in terms of combat, but you can do what many people do, is circle strafing, where basically you're going to aim with L1, R1 to strafe, and then you're gonna hit like your movement to kind of circle strafe around the enemy and shoot them. And it works for pretty much all the bosses. And almost all the enemies. But the reason why I love Mega Man Legends is just the adventure component of it. Just the absolute, just exploring the town, helping the people, and just the story of it all. It was Mega Man sort of Zelda, if you will. So you go into these like little Reaverbot dungeons, and I have to tell you, I would like fill the map for just reasons for my own, just to do that. You discover old junk parts to make Mega Man stronger. He gets like missile launchers. He gets a vacuum to suck up money. You know, all these things. You know, and there's a bunch of things that like within like the game it does for you. Like I know when I was a kid, I got lost because I didn't realize that they give you the components for the grand grenade to blow up the wall in like one of the penultimate dungeons. And like going back through that again, it's really interesting to see that they basically give you the grand grenade parts to blow up that one section of the wall. And Roll will call you to be like, hey, maybe you should look up and see if there's anything around. Like it's really helpful in that way. And Data is just the most adorable save monkey robot thing. The voice acting. I think they're all Canadian voice actors, but they all do a great job. You know, apart from the fact of Diesel's voice actor, real life shenanigans.
What kind of shenanigans?
I guess from what I know, Teasel's voice actor either was like some sort of like child molester or something, so like
Oh
some sort of
no!
criminal. That's why he never came back.
Damn, it was
Oh,
such a
it
great
was back
voice
then.
too.
Because I was
Yeah,
gonna say like who is it? But obviously, if he's never coming back as like
yeah, like
you
it
know,
was Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and then like that was the one of the reasons why you see the whole articles about why Mega Man Legends was stuck in development hell for like PS3 store or whatnot, because everybody assumed because Teasel voice actor was a criminal or whatever, they couldn't, they had to redub the voice and they didn't want to. So that was, you could read all about that. There's like a whole like lore aspect to that, like the Teasel voice actor, in regards to that.
Man, it seems
But
Yeah,
like
I just looked him up on Wikipedia real quick, and I guess it was in 2020 he got caught for this. Um, he's like caught for child porn or whatever, and then he died a month later, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing weird about this." So weird.
yeah,
he got Epstein.
yes, like I said, I knew it was, I knew it was something. But
Damn, that was a great voice too. But he was
yeah,
even he voiced Teasel in, I guess he was in in Capcom versus SNK 3
What was the third one?
yeah.
or sorry, yeah, wait. Marvel, no. Not Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom
Oh.
3.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do in Mega Man Legends that's like fucking around type of deal thing, like in a Zelda game where like you're helping the townspeople. Early on in the game, if you've played it, you know that you've got to stop the bonds from destroying the city. So if they're destroying the city, they're destroying the houses, and if they're destroying the houses, you got to pay for more houses. That is a little bit but like the things that you can do in the town, like you can be part of the police department, and you know you can defuse bombs. You can stop a alleged bank robbery that the Servbot are apparently doing. Which
We're losing you, John.
John.
Uh-oh.
No, the
Uh-oh.
Servbots got him.
I,
We were talking about Robert Smith and he got taken out.
yeah. Well, that's it. You mentioned the name and
oh oh
oh no,
so
you're
Okay,
you're
he's
back.
back.
You're back.
okay, so there's like a robbery thing that happens in the game that the Servbots are like a part of. allegedly. And so, depending on what you do, you can either take the money or turn it in. There's no real effect, and this is one thing that Legends 2 did in an aspect of the game, where there's good Mega Man and then bad Mega Man. So, like, when you're bad Mega Man, you turn a really, really dark, like, blacker blue type of Mega Man. And in Legends 2, it actually let you get a certain power up, but there's nothing in the game in Mega Man Legends 1 that does it, but he just turns really dark. So if you ever look up, taking the money in Mega Man Legends, his suit just looks like he's completely rusted.
I
And
don't remember there being a good bad like karma thing in Mega Man Legends.
yeah,
And I
it
pretty
was
recently.
a whole thing that was supposed to like happen. So like you could do good deeds, like you can fund the hospital to help a girl in a wheelchair. You can donate serve or Reaverbot parts to the museum. You could participate in the Cadillacs news report races and stuff, and like do mini games that way. There's just so much there in Mega Man Legends, and it's a very short game, and it doesn't take very long to beat it. But it's very well worth the replay value because of how short it is. And just different things like you can name a baby hippopotamus, which is the silliest thing. But I could gush all day about Mega Man Legends. Um, well worth it. It's on the PS Store, I think, for like $20.
I'll definitely look into that
So-
because I keep hearing about this game, so I definitely have to check it out.
Yeah,
but
Mega Man
definitely,
Legends rules.
if you're gonna play it, just know Legends 2 combat and the shooting is much better. If you're gonna play Mega Man Legends 1, learn how to circle strafe.
All right.
Which
the
is
first time
basically
for
like
everything.
hit R2 and run to the right.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
press square.
you're moving left and right, strafing, and shooting.
Okay. I think I get a handle
R-
that.
R2 locks on. I gotta say my favorite part. Mega Man Legends is one of my favorite games ever, actually. But which is funny that I don't know this like bad guy, good guy thing. I actually played Mega Man Legends 2 for the first time in like 2014, which is relatively recently, and I don't remember the whole mechanic of being bad Mega Man. But maybe I just did all the good guy shit. I might pick it up again just to see this. But I gotta say my favorite thing in Mega Man Legends is when you first get to the market, that first like is like a flea market or like a strip mall or whatever, and you're running through and you can kick the can. That's my favorite thing, is kicking the can around. And then like you can like kick dogs and shit too. It's kind of fun.
Just go all
Oh my
Fable on
God.
it and just start kicking chickens.
Out of context, that's that clip. Well, kicking
Yeah,
dogs.
look kicking
yeah.
dogs.
Am I remembering that right, John? You can kick dogs, right, or some shit? Oh, we lost him again.
I think the idea of kicking a dog just sent
He's
him
like,
over
oh,
the
that's
edge.
it.
Wait, he's back. I think.
Is that right? So
Oh.
they changed it just a little bit. Okay. So in the Japanese version, it's more of like an aggressive kick. You can kick Tron, that little paprika dog.
Yes.
You can do that in the Japanese version. You cannot do that in the American version. You cannot kick that little dog. But you can kick the dogs in Old Town. I think you know what that is. It's the real rundown part in the city.
Okay,
So
that's
you kick those.
Okay, that's low key kind of fucked up. So you can go to like a poor town area, kick their dogs, but oh, this guy is rich. Don't kick that dog. Fuck that. Fuck the 1%. Trying to like go over that.
Here's the thing about that. Now in the Japanese version, when you kick them, they like explode or something. Or but in
oh,
the
now they
American
feed them
version-
bombs. Wow, that's fucked up.
In the American version, they like just whimper away.
You can still kick them, and it's still fun. I don't
That's,
care.
Yeah.
that's
And
oh my
terrible.
god, this is like the same shit with Batman Beyond's Return of Joker movie. They're like, oh, we can have the kid shoot Joker. That's too fucked up. Let's have Joker trip on electrical wires and electrocute himself to death. It's like that's way worse than getting shot in the chest. Like, what the fuck? What is with the censorship being like? Let's amp it up. This is way too like violent. Let's make it like torturous. Like, damn.
Yeah. And Yoshi,
you want proper mad censorship. You look at Yu-Gi-Oh, like Japanese to the rest of the world censorship. That stuff is nuts.
Well, yeah, because Yu-Gi-Oh is like literally about like murdering people and sending them to hell, right?
Yeah, in the anime,
not
it's
really.
all about.
There's this
Orc
one
gets censored so much in the anime.
There's
Yeah.
one thing I
Hand
saw
guns.
that was censored, and I can't remember. I don't know what it was. The only thing I remember is that instead of it being blood, they changed all the blood to like white fluid. So
Oh, that's
all
the fake
One
Chinese
Piece.
censorship thing going around.
Oh, so
I thought
okay,
that was
it
one.
was fake.
So
news.
it's supposed to not be dangerous because it's blood or not blood, but it looks much worse out of context because you've got like some little girl lying in a pool of all this white stuff or something like
Oh
that.
God.
But that's how these memes were done. Like basically, there's in one of the animes, there's a scene where they're on the floor in a bedroom and there's been like a fight or a murder scene or something like that, and there's a guy lying on the ground with blood all over him in a huge pool of blood, and there's a girl there as well lying in a pool of blood with blood everywhere. But you know, when they change all the blood to white, it looks much worse out of context.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's-
not real though. Those
How about-
memes you
I
see
think
going
that's
around.
the thing
are
I
real.
showed Theo in terms of the 4Kids. If 4Kids did Evangelion, oh no, I spilled milk everywhere.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I love the
Yo,
Forgets
you guys-
intro for Ava. That's not my favorite video.
Yo, you guys should please share these in the chat because I want to see them, like in the game club chat.
I'll post one of them.
Yeah. But Retro, how about your cowardly country and not being able to show ninjas or like any
Oh,
violent?
with turtles. Oh my god. Forget that.
No
right?
nunchucks.
Forget just yeah. Forget about that stuff, right? It gets even crazier if you go back into like the real censorship and all of this, right? It gets even more wild. So stuff like They Live, you know, the Roddy Piper, Keith David film, that was censored and like banned from here until like the year 2000. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scarface, Clockwork Orange, pretty much all that stuff was banned here until like the early 2000s. If you ever played Zombies Ate My Neighbors back in the day on like the Super Nintendo or the Mega
Great
Drive,
fucking game.
yeah, it is. It really is. But you know how you got like the guys in the chainsaws and hockey masks and all? So they were changed for the version over here. They have fire axes and hockey masks. Because up until like 2000-ish, when all of that stuff was changed, they did not. A lot of the like the Irish, UK, and a couple of the other governments would not allow media where chainsaws were depicted in a menacing and dangerous way, which is why Scarface was banned, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was banned, and the games were changed to have fire axes. A great example of that is actually my favorite game of all time, Secret of Mana, on the Super Nintendo version. I always played the European one growing up, and I played the European one for my whole life, pretty much. You fight. There's a robot near the end of the game where you fight him, and he's got 2 hammers as his weapons. But I played the Japanese version in 2017 because they released it on like a Switch collection only in Japan at first. And it has the Japanese ROMs, and it blew my mind to figure out he has a massive chainsaw as his weapon in the Japanese version because it was censored the entire time. I never knew. I never played the American version because I don't know what it is in American version, but even if it is changed, I didn't know that because I always had my European copies. But it's just weird stuff like that that's always censored and mad.
You know what the weirdest, or like, I don't know how to describe it, but it just stays in my head. The weirdest censorship in Europe is how Contra is probotector or whatever, and everyone's
yeah.
robots.
Yeah,
what the
everyone's
fuck?
robots.
It's such a weird idea.
Well,
Like-
the reason they changed the the people to the robots because of it was like some German law where they couldn't allow like that amount of killing or something like that. They changed the name because Contra was already used for something different over here.
Oh.
It's the same way. I don't know if you know this one. If you look at the Dreamcast logo in
Different
Japan
color.
and America, it's not only a different color, but I think it's a swirl in the other direction as well. I'm not 100% sure on the direction, but there's like a French perfume company or something like that that had the orange one in that way. It's the same with Starwing, or what you call Star Fox over there on the Super Nintendo. It's called Starwing over here because there was I think it was a German software company called Star Vox, VOX, and they didn't want to get them mixed up, so they call it Starwing.
They blew it. They should have kept it and had it confused because Star Fox is the shit.
Maybe. And it's the same with N64. I think you call it Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it Lilac Wars.
What?
Yeah, I think it's like a baby fox or something fox related is like a lilac, so it's Lilac Wars.
Well, that's the story of Star Fox 64. Is it's part of the entire like what they're battling in when they're facing like ever Andross. That's part of the Lilac Wars. They're in the Lilac system.
The Lilac system, yeah, I see it here. I'm looking it up now, and yeah, that's.
Who the fuck is gonna like know that that's referring to Star Fox though?
Me, the Nintendo nerd.
Yeah, there you go.
You never know.
But wait a second. Are all these does Contra still called Probotector now? Because like the censorship is not the same anymore, right? Like Contra games released now have just humans, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like for example, I think like within the last couple of years, they released the Contra collection, and all the games in that are Contra, even over here. Because I think now they just released the like American ROMs and all of that stuff. Because back in the day, it was very different. But
it would be crazy if they just stick with the same censorship from the past. It's like they never changed it; they just kept it the same. It's like they committed to it.
Well,
it's always kind of funny.
Quest being Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, actually. But it's always kind of funny because sometimes when I do like medley streams where I'll stream like I don't know 50 different Super Nintendo games in a night or something like that, I'll play them for a few minutes each. But it's always funny because I purposely go out of my way because a lot of the regulars on my channel are from like the Americas somewhere. So I always boot up the European ROMs. So sometimes they're different, like say Probotector, but sometimes they're 50 hertz and the music is slower.
That's
so like I the funny thing is I grew up with it. So like I can play Sonic the Hedgehog and I don't really hear the difference. Yeah, on the Mega Drive, not the Genesis. But I don't really hear the difference. But I mean, I never played Battletoads properly back in the day because NES wasn't big over here. We had real computers and stuff like that. We didn't have that.
Is it possible to play Battletoads on a European?
Well, that's the funny thing. I streamed Battletoads a couple of months ago because someone, I think it might have been last year, but someone redeemed it. Romp of Otters redeemed it on the channel to play. So I got my NES from upstairs. I got my physical copy of Battletoads and I started playing it, and that was all well and good. And then someone else I know, Tio, you might know Hello Fellow Teenagers from Twitter. He's a fairly regular on the channel as well. He came in and I paused it and I went to the bathroom or I went to get a drink or something like that. And he was like, wait a minute, this sounds slower. So it turns out I was like, yeah, because I'm playing the PAL version, so it's running at 50 hertz. So the music was like yeah, instead of the proper speed version. Like I do that, I boot up Mega Man 2 at the start as well. Like the do 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 do. Like that's like do 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 do. It's so
depressing. It's like Mega Man is like
really
got a divorce and he's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like Mega Man Monday Morning Edition kind of thing. I'll post some of them in the game club chat as well a bit later, but it's so funny. I purposely do that to a lot of people. It's
when you post that, I'm gonna download that and just have that be the theme song for the Big Bun Game Club. Like when we stream, like the pre-stream of it, like it's like
in 50 hertz. Yeah, it's actually funnily enough, I was gonna bring this up probably not this week, but probably like 2 or 3 more of these in advance. But since like John played Mega Man Legends and we were talking about some of the old stuff, and then Charles brought up the N64 one, I would say at some point, maybe like a couple from now, pick a retro game for you two, because you're mostly playing more modern games and stuff. I would suggest maybe old retro games can be fairly quick, so maybe pick 2 or 3 retro games each to play over the course of like the 2 weeks and give that a try.
Like play the 50 hertz version and play the regular version?
No. So, because obviously, let's say like the last couple of games you played, Control, modern game, Death's Door, modern game, Cult of the Lamb, Frogun, modern games. So I'd say, I don't know, play Mega Man X, play Super Mario 60 or Super Mario World, or
it's
play Mega Man 2. It's
kind of funny. We were gonna do Mega Man during that long hiatus of Game Club, and I played a little bit of that, and I think I played like Mega Man. I want to say Mega Man 4. I don't remember which one. It's one of the collections, but I played it and it was like I like the game, but it just made me realize it might not be the game for me. It's like this is like just not my speed. I love it, but it's like I can't beat it.
They can be hit or miss with retro games like that, especially even in the same series. Like I didn't grow up playing the original Mega Man series because NES and stuff, so I grew up with like Mega Man X as a series. So when I go back and play them, you can tell the marked difference between Mega Man 2, which is like noticeably better than every other Mega Man game, even before and after it. So that's like a great example of how you have to be very specific and very careful with games like that.
Yes, I mean, I'm still open to try it out anyway, so it's fine either way. X, I do want to try this as well.
What I'll do is
talk about like our number 1 favorite N64 game coming up. Somebody can you can play.
You're cutting in and out there, John.
I was gonna say you could play an N64 game for upcoming event.
No, we should stick to the plan of playing Cult of Lamb. But I think it would be fun to just everyone bring, and this is for viewers too, like everyone bring as many N64 games that you think are good enough that you would just recommend it to someone with no caveat. Like, this is a good game, you should just play it. And it'll be fun to debate. Like, I think that we're going to start off and there's going to be things that obviously everyone agrees. And then there's going to be weird ones where like, or like times when you think someone's going to agree and like, we're going to be like, fuck that game. I think that'll be a fun exercise. And it'll just give us things to like, to think about like, okay, maybe there's a game I never heard of that like I don't have an opinion on and I'll want to play it. I just think that'll be a fun segment to do.
All right. Oh, so
play some N64 games. You don't have to play everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will play what I have.
Done.
Well, that's like we everyone except for Tio can make that everything.
Yeah, right.
Because he's got a Mac. So.
It's not necessarily.
Well, yeah, I've always offered him like Super Nintendo emulators and like every game.
You know,
so.
The way you get the file to use on an emulator, you have to go like piracy and all that. I don't have a VPN. I don't want Comcast to be like, wait a second, what are you doing with that file, buddy? And then
I think even Comcast is like, it's okay to pirate from Nintendo because they're douchebags.
I don't want to risk it because last time I did it, they were like, hey, we saw you got Boardwalk Empire. What's up with that? It's like.
Well, if you want, I can rename the file and send it to you.
Just okay. This is what I'll do. Let's do this. I'm gonna burn Theo a CD of all the ROMs and just send it to him in the mail.
Well, now hang on. This is Theo we're talking about. Theo, do you have anything with a CD capable optical drive at this point?
Fuck it.
Look, I got
there
it.
You go.
Okay, flash drive is where it's at because guys, it's an iMac. What do you think the answer is gonna be to does it have a CD drive? Apple's in the future.
Bigger question. It's Apple. Do they have USB ports?
Well, of course they have USB 3, dude. Come on.
Well, I don't know. You could have like Lightning or some shit, or like whatever the sequel to Lightning is. Lightning 2, Thunder Boogaloo.
No, look, Lightning is only for the devices, not for the computers. Jeez, I understand you hate Apple, but at least understand they're not that stupid with their desktops. They have the M2 chip coming out, and that's going to be playing Resident Evil 8. Come on, it's gamer ready.
It's funny actually. I was right before this stream. I actually I was looking to download M2 backgrounds to just put on behind instead. But then I figured, no, I can't be seen with an Apple thing around me. I've got street cred.
You're gonna be like behind. Everyone's gonna be switch to the M2 chip. Everyone's gonna love it, and then you're gonna be the outcast.
I was looking up some of the details of how it's playing Resident Evil 8 on that M2.
It's so advanced. It's like you can't process it. You think it's shitty, but that's how your brain's processing it. It's like the actual information is like so advanced in the iCloud that you can't figure it out.
An apologist.
What I'll probably do is I'll bust out the CRT and I'll bust out my Wii, because I have the games on my Wii that I acquired.
All right,
Yoshi gave me a good idea, and I'm just gonna send you a bunch of zip disks, Theo.
Zip disks.
Yeah.
Zip disk, yeah, that's very Apple actually. Now that I think about it, from back in the day.
Man,
I'm pretty sure they built them into the computers for a while, right?
I think so. The only person back in the day I knew that had a Mac had a zip drive, and it was built inside it. It's basically like a bigger version of a floppy disk. If you know what a floppy disk is, Theo, because
I know what a floppy disk is. I used them, dude.
It's basically a bigger, more capacity version of that.
Theo knows what a zip disk is.
Well, no, he knows what a floppy disk is.
Oh, okay.
Is this it?
That's the one.
Yeah. It's basically a bigger, thicker, chunkier.
Okay, how is this an Apple thing? I've
version.
never seen Apple use this.
No, it's not just dedicated to an Apple thing, but basically because back in the day, USB stuff didn't work properly with Apple, despite it having USB ports. They had zip disks as their bigger storage. You could get PC drives for them and all as well, but it was just more common between the loners that were Apple users.
Okay.
All right, boys, I gotta go soon, so I don't know how long you want to talk, or we're gonna wrap this up.
We can wrap it up. I was just gonna say, like, this is unrelated to the game club.
It's nearly midnight.
I saw a Dragon Ball superhero movie. I was gonna recommend it to you, Charles, because you were saying how you don't like Dragon Ball since it always relies on Goku. This whole movie does not rely on Goku at all. He's not even in the movie, and it's a great movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the Indiana Jones of Dragon Ball.
It's a great movie.
Dragon Ball Superheroes?
Yeah. It's in theaters now. It's a great film.
My thing is, I just don't like how Goku is just the fucking. It's like, okay, it has to end with Goku.
He's not even in the movie. He's only in it for like 1 second, and it's just to show him like training and shit. It's only focusing on Piccolo and Gohan.
Okay, cool. I'd watch it.
Also, Piccolo and his son. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a great movie. I liked it. I went in with like, whatever. Like I like Super just because it's goofy as shit. I've been watching the Tournament of Power, and that's kind of fun because that at least shows all these characters doing shit. That's like, oh sweet, like Android 18 like kicking ass, 70 kicking ass, everyone kicking ass. It's like, oh, this is great. But yeah, that's why. And yes, I did play Fortnite. I played Fortnite as Bulma throwing Kamehamehas at people, and I was winning. I got so many first places. It's like, this is easy. I guess it's true what they say about Fortnite. All kids play it, so that's why I'm winning. It is good. There's one guy that was like, he built a big fort, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna Kamehameha this guy, and I won. I was like, hell yeah. I almost lost, but I got him by doing a Kamehameha. All right.
Rough.
Alright, that's it for Game Club. We will be playing Cult of the Lamb, and guys, us and the viewers, bring in your N64 games you want to talk about. I'm sure they're gonna suck ass. I'm gonna bring the best one, obviously. So we'll see. We'll see what everyone has to offer. Also, leave in the comment section below in this video. Put the N64 games you want, and I'll go through the comment section as well. So feel free.
Talk about it in the Discord.
Yeah,
you can talk about it in the Discord too.
The Discord, YouTube comments, Twitch chat, whatever. Bring them all in, you know. So it's all good.
Yeah, that'd actually be helpful because it would be fun. Like if people suggest games and we can try them out, you know, like things. Because there's definitely games I haven't played because I just don't think N64 games are good. But yeah, like start talking about it in the chat, and then we'll talk. We'll discuss.
And now let's do Charles's favorite part of the stream and raid.
That's the raid.
Raiding Cult of the Lamb streamer. Holy shit, a lot of people are streaming it. A
And
lot of high
at least
viewers.
we
Are
can
you-
all agree on one thing. The best N64 game is Final Fantasy VII. Oh, wait.
Okay, the
Are we gonna rate
smallest.
someone playing Frogun or Cult of Lamb?
Huh?
Are we rating someone playing Frogun or Cult of Lamb?
Cult of Lamb.
Okay.
The smallest amount of viewers I've seen someone playing Cult of the Lamb is 25.
All right, get him.
So it's the guy's name is White Zunder. Hold on, actually, I'm gonna play it first before I rate. I want to make sure
It's not a furry again.
it's not for you again.
Oh,
Ah,
or the times
it's
with-
offline. So that guy must
Oh.
have been wrapping up. Well, that
Somebody-
guy.
he must have been a furry and heard you say no furries.
Furries need love too, man.
No, furries are the worst. They're degenerates.
Furries can love
That's
themselves.
not true.
Yes,
Well,
it
they're
is.
like-
Charles, are you a furry?
No.
All right, this guy's name
I
is.
don't know. You're being awful defensive about them.
Okay, this guy's name
Just
is
for that,
Dusty.
I'm
He
going
might be
to
good.
suggest a furry N64 game.
There's a ton of furry X64 games. There's Conker's Bad Fur Day. He's pissing on everyone.
And Banjo.
And piss fetishists.
Nintendo games are also furry bait. I mean, they've Donkey Kong
Er-
in their fucking wheelhouse.
Ugh.
See?
There's someone that fantasizes about fucking Donkey Kong, unironically. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight thinking of that.
Big Donkey Kong.
Someone
At
wants
least you might forget it by the time you go to sleep. I'm going to be gone in like 20 minutes, so it's going to be fresh in my mind.
Okay, this guy is not a furry. He does have like a thick ass mustache though.
done. Get him in there. Come on,
So-
let's go.
We're rating this guy. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hope to see you next time. It was fun.
Yep. See ya.
Yeah, this was a good one. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it exceeded all expectations. All right,
Yeah.
bye bye.
Like a Kojima game.